Book of Genesis, Rebbe Nachman teaches this. Let me give you a little introduction. Rebbe Nachman was a Chassidic Rebbe. He lived 200 and something years ago in the Ukraine, in the town of Breslov, in the town of Uman, in Medjugorje. He got around a little bit, and today his followers are 10,000 strong, 100,000 strong. I don't know the numbers, but there's a great interest in Breslov in the Jewish world today. His student was Rebbe Natan. He was his scribe, his student, his PR man, his mouthpiece, who wrote all his books. His top student. He wrote a book after Rebbe Nachman passed away. He spent the rest of his life publicizing the works of Rebbe Nachman of Breslov. Rebbe Nassan, the student, wrote a book called Likutei Halachot. Likutei Halachot is this book here. There's a new edition with the text of the Bible in Hebrew and the commentary of Rashi for those of you who know Hebrew. It's very nice, published by the Nanach Contingency. They do a tremendous job with publication. But before there was this new publication, there was a book that I'm reading from here called Torah Natan. That was Rabbi Natan Tzvi Koenig. May the memory of the tzaddik be for blessing. He was a great leader of Breslov and a great scholar, who he took all of the book Likutei Halachot of Rabbi Natan. What's Likutei Halachot? Likutei Halachot is the code of Jewish law, all the laws that the Torah explains according to the teachings of Chassidus, the deep inner meaning, mystical and spiritual meaning of the Torah. He explained the laws, the day-to-day laws and the physical laws, material, monetary laws, and the laws of the festivals and the laws of Shabbos, all of the laws according to the deep inner meaning in a book called Likutei Halachot. So that was Rebbe Natan. Rebbe Natan Tzvi Koenig, who lived in the previous generation, in the 20th century. He took this book of Rebbe Natan and he arranged it. He took out selections of it and arranged it according to the Parsha to Shavua. We spiritual Jews, we read the Torah every week in the synagogue, and our life is in the weekly Torah reading. And so he took, and we're always studying the Parsha. So what's a spiritual Jew? That's a Jew who reads the Parsha and considers his life through the Parsha. So Rebbe Natan Tzvi Koenig, the great Breslover Chassid and scholar, he took this book of the scribe of Rebbe Nachman and he arranged it according to the weekly Torah reading. And that's what I'm reading from here in the book Torah Natan. I don't have to show it to you a million times. Go to your local Hebrew bookseller and implore upon them to give you a copy of the Torah Natan. Ephron the Chiti, and this week's Torah Parsha, so that's all a bibliographical Jewish introduction. Now, Rebbe Natan writes according to the Parsha, and the Parsha, where the point is the Parsha in the Torah, and the Torah says that Abraham bought a grave for his wife, his recently deceased wife Sarah, from Ephron the Hittite. Now, the word Ephron has to do with dirt, earth, finely wrought loam. What's wrought loam? Anyhow, it has to do with earthiness, earth. He says that's the aspect of the evil that's holding into the element of the earth. So Ephron the Hittite, he was an aspect of evil. And specifically the aspect of evil in the earth. Everybody knows that Hebron has to do with the earth. There are 4 cities in Israel, 4 holy cities. The major holy cities are Jerusalem, Hebron, Tiberias, and Tzfat. Jerusalem is the city of fire. Hebron is the city of earth. That's where the patriarchs are buried in the earth. Tiberias, or Tiberia in Hebrew, is on the Sea of Galilee. That's the city of water. And Tzfat, the holy city of the Kabbalists, is in the air. It's up in the mountains, so it's the city of the air. So Hebron where Ephron the Hittite lived is the city of earth, and Ephron's very name has to do with Afar, Ephron, Afar, and that has to do with earth. He was the evil that holds into the earth. That's like it says in the book of Isaiah in the 65th chapter, and the snake eats dust. No, it doesn't say it eats dust, it says he eats earth, Afar with an ayin. That's the aspect of what it says in the 3rd chapter of the book of Genesis, where it says that the curse, how was the snake cursed after the sin of Adam? God cursed the snake by saying, "You shall eat dust." That's the aspect of dust. Has to do, what is dust in psychological terms? Dust has to do with sadness, with depression and heaviness, and which is, and all of this, where does sadness, heaviness, depression come from? It's drawn from the earth, from the dirt, and that's the aspect of the bite of the snake. When the person is depressed, it's as if the snake who eats dust bit him and made him like the snake. The snake is depressed. If you're eating dirt all day too, you might be depressed also. So this is as our Rabbi Rebbe Nachman of Breslov explains, that the aspect of the snake has to do with eating dust. And how do we subdue it? How do we conquer the snake? How do we conquer the dirt and the element of earth? We do it through, in holiness, we conquer it through faith. We can conquer the snake through faith, which is this aspect of what it says in the 37th chapter of the book of Psalms, Shochen eretz ure'ei emunah, live in the earth and cultivate faith. Everybody, the person is mostly made out of dirt. We're clay from the earth. We're material from the earth, with a little fire in it and a lot of water in it. And that little fire is the spiritual force that vivifies the basically physical elements of the earth that make up the human body. So it says in the Psalms, live in the earth, because that's the nature of man, and cultivate faith. Bichinat afar ma'ana de kulhi al sha'alidei emunah. So we're all a vessel made out of clay. But what we do is we fill it with faith, and we transfer the evil aspect of the earth to the holy aspect of the earth, the good aspect of the earth, which receives all of the life force and all of the holiness. And by means of this power, we have a great power to cause the earth to bloom and to grow. And with this, this is gonna take another YouTube session to continue this teaching for Rebbe Nachman in the 3rd installment of Parshat Chayei.